Alright guys, welcome to another Autronics video. In this video we're working on an EEPROM, so some immobilizer programming for a 2009 Holden Colorado. So here is the immobilizer box here. So it is described by the customer that the vehicle doesn't start. Alright, so we took the immobilizer box out, so this is what it looks like. And on the reverse side there's an EEPROM here which is labeled 93LC56B1. And so that's the one we're going to be programming today to this chip right here, as well as using the Key Tool Plus to program that chip data. So how do we do this using this Key Tool Plus? The first thing to do is to save this data that's on here. So how do we do that? We go into Programmer, EEPROM and Flash. It's a 93LC56B chip, so it'll usually be under microchip, and that's the last one down here. Pick that, and then we find 93LC56B is right here. Select that. We want to read that data and save it. So let's continue. Great. So let's label that. Let's just say 93. Okay, so we know it's ending with 93. Okay, so that's done that. Now we need to we need to check if these data on there, and in order to, and for us to be able to code it in. Okay, so how do we do that? We get back out of this menu here. We're going to immobilizer data tool. The funny thing is that it's a 2009 Holden Colorado with a 4JJ1 motor in it, and it's equivalent of a Isuzu, right? So if you go into Isuzu, here's the funny thing, because I've been playing around with this for a while, and it's supposed to be under NPR, right? So that's the 2007 93C56. We click into that and we click into this, right? We find the file, we open it, it tells you unknown version, okay, despite it's the same immobilizer in both the vehicles regardless. Okay, so what's the next step? So we want to know what data is in that and why is the key data not stored in there, right? So the way I found it, I went under Suzuki. So if you go under Suzuki, okay, and then if you go under Grand Vitara, it gives you the 2006 93C56. Click onto that, click start, pick our file from here, which was this 93, open, and then it tells you the data there. Okay, so you can clearly see on key 1 there's nothing stored. Okay, so we want to code our chip here into key 1 spot there. Okay, so let's go back. So we know our pathway because it says up there. We go back, we get out of this menu. Okay, now we need to code this chip into the EEPROM, right? So how do we do that? First of all, you need to find out what chip do you need. So what I'm using is a VVDI super chip for the X-Horse platform, right? So to know what chip ID it is, it's ID 11, ID 56, ID 66, or whatever. This particular model uses an ID 46 chip, which is the PCF model. How do I know that? So with any car, you can just go into Google and type in, say for an example, 2011 Holden Cruise key fob, and there'll be people selling it on that, on the documentation. It should tell you what chip ID it is, right? Or you can buy, platforms and softwares that tell you that either. So I just do that. That's an easy way for me to do it. Anyways, how do we change this to ID 46? So we're going to generate transponder. The very first thing I do is I change and I reset this chip, right? So let's go into special functions, select type of VVDI super chip, and then right at the bottom it says reset VVDI super chip, right? So I want to click onto that, put my chip in here, and it should convert it. So give it a couple of seconds, that'll do its magic. Apologize about the lighting, it's not the best out here. Okay, so some successful conversion. So there's our chip there. Now we go back into transponder clone. Okay, then we want to read this transponder, and it's set to this, right? So we want to set it to ID46. So we go into generate transponder, we go into ID46 PCF7936, click onto that, put our chip in there, click onto that, generate transponder. That's done it. Let's go to complete, go back, transponder clone, let's read what it is. Okay, so we have a 25F2101B. Okay, so the last 3 digits are 01B. That's what the chip code is. This is what we're looking for when we code it back into the EEPROM. Okay, so now let's get started. How do we do that? Go into immobilizer data tool. Remember the pathway we used? It wasn't under Isuzu. So we go all the way down till we find Suzuki. Then we find Grand Vitara. Then we pick the last one, 2006 and above, 93C56. I know it's supposed to be an LC. I think it's just a low power consumption with an LC thing. But C is fine, C56. Click into that. And then now it tells you PCF 7936 ID46. And the Isuzu D-Max NPR, it doesn't tell you that. It just tells you it's PCF 7936. Okay, let's move forward. We go here. This is the file we saved. So we click onto that. We open that. Key 1 is still blank, right? Click into key 1, make a dealer key. Now it tells you an option of a VVDI superchip. Please, select use position. No need to write EEPROM, okay? We want to pick this one, PCF 7936. Click OK, and it's going to write it in there. Prepare dealer key success. It can start the engine after write back new dump file. Okay, so how do we do that? Click onto this, select our file. Okay, so we go to save here, and we want to relabel this as we'll leave it at 137 ending. Okay, so we'll save that file 137. Okay, file downloaded. We will wait for the QR code to be generated. That's it there. Go here, go back, go into this menu again. That's our file there, 137. Click into that, open, and that's our code right there. So 01B was the ending of this chip, and that chip is now inside here, and that should start your vehicle. It's a bit of a process. It is confusing. It took me a wee while to figure this out and how to do it. I don't know why it's on the different platforms, but it just is. And this chip is ready to start the car. Now what do I have to do is get out of this menu and then desolder this chipset from here. Remove the chipset from here and solder it back onto this thing here, and then we'll put that back into the vehicle, and hopefully we have a successful repair there. So one other thing that I want to really point out to you guys here, whenever you're removing an EEPROM or any chip from the motherboard, always pay attention to pin number 1, where it is, because if you orientate it the other way, you're going to short something out in that chip, and that's data in there that's corrupted, right? So in this particular scenario here, we've got that dot there, which is indicative of where pin 1 is in this chip here. So we'll remove this EEPROM out of this as well, and I'll show you. And it's a little bit stuck in there. Okay, let's get that out. All right, so I don't know if you can see that, but on it's not very clear, but on this chip here there's a little let's see if I can turn this light on. Okay, so I'm hoping that you can see that there's a little dot on. This doesn't help. Okay, there we go. So there's a little indent in that chip that's representative of a pin 1. So that there needs to match up to that there. So the way it's meant to sit is exactly like that. So you see that little white dot there, that one there. Okay, and that needs to sit like that exactly on there. Okay, so if you orientated the opposite way of this, like, oops, so if you orientate this, say like that, you're gonna definitely damage this chip. So always be careful of how you're taking this chip out and how you guys are putting that back together and things like that. But anyways, we'll put this back together, plug it into the car, and off we go, and hopefully we'll fix that. I hope this video has helped somebody out there, and thank you for watching.